Hi, Chad with Purple Collar Lathe. In a recent video you saw me installing the lights because it's getting into winter. I wanted to have some good lighting as the nights get darker earlier. The other thing that's happening, you can see I'm in a hoodie today. It's only about 45 degrees out this morning. It's almost the end of September here in Northwest Pennsylvania, so I want to get this Curtis cab heater installed into my cab so that when I'm out plowing snow or working outside when it's freezing temperatures, this will keep me nice and cozy inside the Curtis cab. I fast forwarded to the end here for you. Little sneak peek. The heater is all installed. It was much easier than I thought it would be. Took me less than 2 hours of total work time. I actually thought the process would be harder. I've been kind of putting it off because I thought it would be hard to do. Not hard at all. Don't be intimidated. Just follow the instructions. Works great. Go ahead and watch this video the whole way through first, and then go back and watch it step by step as you're doing the install, and I think that'll really help you out. Since I'll be working a lot under the hood here, need to take the side panels off to get the hoses routed from the radiator where I'll be getting the heat for the heater. It'll be a lot easier for me to do that work with the loader uninstalled. I removed that little drain plug right there from right here on the 2210 to drain the antifreeze, and I had to lift the lid off of the radiator so that it would drain out. You can see that antifreeze looks like it's in really good shape. There is a spot right here in the cab prepared for the heater. I'm just going to remove the 3 screws that need removed. The kit does come with a good set of instructions, so I encourage you to follow the instructions that came with your kit. There's these 2 little knockouts that are already in the Curtis cab, so I'm just going to release the ones that came with the cab and insert the ones that will let the hose go through. The next thing we're going to remove is the sending unit. Pull that little end off. Use a 21 millimeter. So I'll give you a little heads up. First of all, I did get a haircut in between takes. Jennifer does my haircut, so she was kind enough to give me one in between takes when she had a minute. But I wanted to show you, this is my 21 millimeter socket, and this is that temperature sending unit. And this isn't a deep socket. I could only get it on about this far because of this little nipple connection that was on it. And in trying to force the short socket to work, unfortunately, I broke that off. So now I've got to wait for the John Deere dealership to be open to get a new temperature sending unit. You can see here the pieces. And the other thing that I'll buy is a 21 millimeter socket that's a deep socket, so I can safely get a deeper grab on there without breaking off the next one that I get. I'm trying to get this to line up so that the hole faces up. Try taking one of the washers off. Facing backwards there. You can see I've got the adapter on there now. Have to wait on that new sending unit before I can reattach it. I'm just wondering here if this is enough room and how I will get my cover off for my air filter with this on here. I don't know if I should turn it a little bit further, so we'll mess with that. But in the meantime, I need to cut this lower hose for the other adapter. That's going to route up over there and then back down here. Give a little update here. You can see we're all connected here. Just need to get that new temperature sending unit since I broke the other one and install there. So until I have that, I can't even start the tractor up. I did have my supply hose out of that T up over the air box line like it instructs down here beside where I installed this other T, and then they go in front of the motor mount and under the tractor. I put them just under the oil pan above the hydraulic lines that go to the power steering, and then up through right here behind the rear motor mount on the left hand side of the engine. You can see I had marked which one was the supply line that came out of that temperature sending unit, in through the cab. And I actually mounted my shutoff right here. I wanted it to be inside the cab so I could just do my on and off of the hot fluid into the heater right here rather than underneath the cover. The instructions had it down on the side of the engine, which would mean I'd have to remove that side panel to open and close that valve. I thought, here's a better location inside the cab with me, easy to do, easy to get to. Hose clamp these lines, supply line here, return line here. In the instructions, it didn't say if one had to be one or the other. I'm guessing it's just a open loop system, so it doesn't really matter which way the fluid goes in or comes out. And there's the heater box. Now I pulled my wires up here for now just so they were where I would see them, because I'm going to need to run them up along the side rail and into that switch box. You saw that in a previous video where I installed that and all my lights. I still got some wire cleanup to do here. I'm going to replace this power wire with a thicker one, heavier gauge, now that I'll be running the fan to the heater. And then I'll clean up this area over here. This is where my grounds come to from that grounding lug. So I just need to do some more work in here to get that heater wired in. Well, it's been a couple days. I had to wait on this new temperature sending unit to come in. I actually ordered this one off of Amazon. It is not the John Deere brand, but it'll hopefully work until I get the John Deere brand. I ordered one from the dealership, but as you know, with all the current delays because of the pandemic, not exactly sure how long it'll take to get in. So we'll use this one for now. Hopefully it works. I also went to Harbor Freight, Got a cheap set of deep sockets to put that back in so we won't break that little end piece off again. From Walmart, I got the SuperTech antifreeze and coolant. I called out to the John Deere dealership. They said no need to use specifically the John Deere brand for coolant. Just use any normal automotive coolant. So I purchased some of that. I actually got the pre-diluted 50-50 kind. Since I was draining this the whole way out, that'll make sure that I have a 50-50 mix going into the radiator and the coolant reservoir. Go ahead and use the new Pittsburgh 21mm. And my main concern with all of this is that it's not tight enough to keep it from leaking, but we'll see here. Because I wanted to get this twisted at the right angle for the hose to come up over. And I feel like it could be a little bit tighter, but if I were just a little bit tighter, I'd be pointed too far back towards the fan. And I tried adjusting the number of these nylon washer sleeves that kind of space things apart, and they're supposed to help seal them up. I'm gonna put one on here. And we need to refill the radiator. It should take just about a gallon. Now that is going to pump through, and I'm guessing it'll need a little bit more to go over to the new heater core. So we're going to go ahead and start it up and check for any leaks. As I suspected, we do have some leaking there. Looks like it's coming from the top connection actually. So as soon as things cool down, it's hot in there right now, but as soon as they cool down, we will try tightening up those connections. Well, the install is all done. Much easier than I thought it was going to be. And I can tell you this thing puts out some heat. I've had a chance to test it out a little bit here. Works great. Wouldn't you know it, it's been in the 40s. I put the heater in, temperatures in the 70s again. So I won't need this for a little while, hopefully, but it's gonna be awesome this winter, plowing snow and doing work outside, having a cab heater here in the Curtis cab. I'll put the doors back on. I'll be nice and toasty warm all winter long. Let me show you how this works. As you saw, I installed this heater core onto the John Deere 2210. Hoses down to the supply and return lines. I showed all that in the video. I put the shutoff valve right here inside the cab with me, easy to control. Turn the hot water on and off, it's going to this. And then I wired the fan, there's a 2-speed fan inside here. Wired that and the ground, wired the fan up into my control box. Let me show you how it works. If you watched my installation of the lighting, you saw I put this control box in. Let me go ahead and turn power on to it. You can see that turns my backlights on. And the heater is this simple. Just touch the fan speed 1. Fan speed 2. You can hear the fan blowing in there. It's nice you've got these directional. This one I'm sure will help to defrost the front windshield, so I'd aim it up there. This one helps keep me warm. And this one down here helps keep my feet warm. Thanks for watching. If you've got a John Deere 2210 and you're considering a Curtis cab, I'd highly encourage it. And I'd go a step further. If you live in a northern climate like I do, where you're out in the wintertime plowing snow and using this in the cold from the fall through the spring, I'd encourage you to consider this cab mount heater. I think I'm gonna have a totally different take on working outside this winter now that I'll have the cab enclosure and the heat inside it. This was a perfect example of a purple collar life project. As you know, I've got a white collar, primarily day job, but I enjoy working with my hands and trying new things. The Curtis cab install was easier than I thought it would be. The Curtis cab heater install was also easier than I thought it would be. It all really depends on the quality of the instructions and what comes in the kit. The instructions were great. This video should help you out if you're doing the install. And the kit includes everything. The hosing was all correct. The wiring was all correct, included all the connectors, included all the wire ties, and a great system overall for someone who just wants to follow kind of like Lego instructions, step by step, how to do the process, and all the pieces are included. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you out, we'd appreciate it if you'd give us a thumbs up down below, comment down below, share with your friends, and if you're not already a subscriber, click that subscribe button and the bell beside it so that you get notifications when we put out new videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again the next time.